Oh Lord, what did I just do? So, oh my God, I bought another pony. I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking. So the pony I got, he is a 4-year-old. I think his ad said 5, but we got his papers and he is like 4.5-ish. Registered paint. I didn't look at his papers that closely. I don't know what his bloodlines are. Don't ask, because I mean I could go look at him, but I really don't want to. So I have no idea what his breeding is. Gelding. That's important. He hasn't been handled much, and it was very obvious when we get there, so there wasn't a lot to do with him. I did see him trot a little bit. She just chased him around his pasture. So, you know, we did all that. I kind of thought about it the night before we went to go look at him, and I was like, you know, maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I shouldn't, but I also really wanted to. So when we're looking at this pony, before I know it, I'm making an offer, and I don't even know if I really understand what I'm saying, but these words are coming out of my mouth, and I was like, would you take like this price for him? And so we made a deal. And since he was so close, we didn't take the trailer the first time when we went to look at him. So we had to drive back to the barn, get the trailer hooked up, and then we drove back to get him. Okay, so, you know, up until that, I'm like, okay, I can do this. And then after that, let me just tell you, it was an adventure getting this thing to the barn. Okay, so, you know, we get back there with the trailer, catch this thing in the pasture. Now, he's not like the most friendly thing, so you have to have grain with you, and he has to have a halter on. So we catch him, and, you know, I walk this thing to the trailer, and I get real concerned about what I just bought, because this horse doesn't lead very well. He's kind of like squirming around everywhere, trying to stop, looking back at his friends, and I'm just like, oh my God, what have I done? And you know, I'm thinking, like, in my mind at the time, I was like, oh, that's gonna be the worst of it. Okay, so I keep walking. We have to stop a couple times, get him to the trailer. Not a big fan of it, doesn't really want to walk towards it, but you know, he came around pretty quickly with that. He got on. I got him up to where, you know, he needed to be like his little stall on the trailer, and I was trying to hook him up into it. He didn't like me reaching for the little hook by the window. I was like, okay, you know, maybe I won't do that. And so, I mean, I don't know why I tried to do this on my own, but I put his lead rope over his neck, and I tried to shut the little door thing in it. Why am I blanking on what they're actually called, but the little gates to keep him in his little section of the stall. I try and just shut that on him by myself with a pony that doesn't really want to be in the trailer. Okay, so this is what my stupid self is trying to do, and I almost get it, and then the pony is like, nope. He spins around, and I saw him, and I was, you know, had a plan in my head for if he does this. I'm like, get myself to the wall, just don't be in the middle of the trailer, give him room to get out. Okay, so he spins around. I get over to the wall as quickly as I can, but He does still kind of hit me and push me into the wall, banged my knee up really bad. Okay, so anyways, we do eventually get him on the trailer. We had to bungee all the gates shut, or like to the wall, so that way he could just stand freely. So he was basically in like a stock trailer. We converted our trailer to a stock trailer with bungee cords. That's basically the easiest way to put it. So we just left him standing in there. He was good on the way home. He pawed once when we got stuck at a red light. But other than that, he was good. So then we get him back home, and I'm, you know, kind of not thrilled to have to get this thing off the trailer. So the plan is to walk in the front of the trailer, like, you know, pretend like I'm good at explaining things real quick. So we walk in the front of the trailer. We have a door that goes to like the front part of the back of the trailer. So I was gonna walk in that and then crawl under the little divider. That's what they're called, dividers. So I was gonna crawl under the divider and then get a hold of him before the actual back trailer doors open. So we did that, got a hold of him, and then my mom was there. She opened the back doors. Thank God I had somebody with me, because it would have been a real, well, we probably would have had the same result of getting him off the trailer if I was by myself anyways. But so, you know, we do that. The doors are open. I try to get him to back off the trailer because I know I don't trust him to turn around on the trailer and walk off, because I feel like if he turns around, he's gonna spin around and just crash into me. So I was trying to get him to back off, and he wasn't really a fan of that. So he spins around again, and, you know, thankfully this time I'm not in his path. So, you know, he obviously just wants off the trailer. I'm not gonna run off the trailer with him, so I just let go of him. And so the first like 15 minutes he's at our property, I spent it chasing him around, trying to catch him. I did have the thought to go in and get some grain before I got on the trailer with him. That way I could kind of keep him occupied while the doors were opening, because they kind of make some noise, and I knew he wasn't going to be a fan of that. So I did have some grain already with me, which, you know, was cool. But yeah, that little clip at the beginning of the video, that was me thinking, holy crap, what have I done? Because it had already been an adventure, and I've only been in ownership of this pony for 45 minutes. And so, you know, we catch him. He actually wasn't terribly hard to catch. He just ran over to the other horses, trying to make friends, and I was like, you're not making friends today, buddy, I'm sorry. So we caught him. I walk him a little closer to the barn, let him graze a little bit, because the pasture he was out on didn't have any grass, and I was like, he's probably stoked to see some grass. So we let him graze. And then, you know, it's getting kind of late. I'm like, I need to feed the other horses. So I try and get him into the barn. You know, I'm thinking, just get him into the barn. Get him in a stall, get him some hay, start him on a little grain. Just let him have a nice, easy night. Let him know he's somewhere where, you know, he's safe. This little pony is terrified of the barn. Terrified. I've never in my life seen a horse that just absolutely refused to walk in a barn. You know, I've seen them where they're nervous coming in, a lot of the thoroughbreds. I mean, you know, most ponies that get here, when, you know, they're nervous, they're on guard, they're kind of like, you know, snorting at everything. They have their ears pricked forward. That, you know, like, they're that. I'm like, okay, like, that's fair as long as you're walking in the barn. Like, this pony, he flat out refused to walk in the pour, and I tried like lunging him in front of it, which was something I didn't want to do because I asked if the pony lunged, and I was told it depends on the day. I was like, I really don't want to do this stuff with him, you know, while we're not prepared. But at the same time, I'm like, you know, starting to get the sense that he's not as so much been mistreated as he has just been mishandled and just allowed to get away with things. And I was like, you're not getting away with things here. So, you know, like I said, I wanted him to just have a nice, relaxing evening, walk into his stall, rest, just hang out. No. Okay, so, I mean, to speed this story up, you know, I try and get him to the entrance that is like right over there. Try and get him to walk in. You know, it's nice, bright, you know, it's very inviting in here, so I don't know what the issue was. I spent probably an hour trying to get the pony in that door. And you know, after about 20 minutes of trying, I'm like, you know, he's just kind of being a jerk. And I'm like, you know, I'm very understanding of, you know, he's in a new environment. You know, his world just got flipped upside down. You know, this is all new to him. But at the same time, he's not just gonna be a flat out jerk. So, I have my mom grab me a lunge line. I take him to the outdoor. Thankfully, he would at least walk in that. So we go to the outdoor and I lunge him for a little bit. Now, I'm gonna put some clips of me lunging him in here. And, you know, this kind of confirmed my thought about him just being allowed to get away with things. Because right off the bat, he just wanted to go to the gate. He wanted to go to the gate and stop. And so that's definitely not gonna work anymore. So I spent some time working with him on that. There is one clip where it's a little scary to watch. He almost flipped himself over, and I know probably people are gonna freak out on me about that, but I mean, what can I do? He's a horse. He's, you know, they do stuff like that. And I want this to be very, very honest and like not just be like, oh, I bought another pony and he's perfect. You know, I really want to like document this journey, and well, this is gonna be a good one to do because I've got a lot of work to do. Okay, so, you know, I'm including all of this stuff in it because I want to share like literally everything with this pony and really document the process and not like sugarcoat things. So, you know, there is a clip where he rears up and he, you know, almost flips himself over, but that's, you know, that's his own fault because he was wanting to go to the gate and not wanting to listen to me. So anyways, you know, we did learn something there. He almost flipped himself over, but he didn't do that again. After that, he was on his best behavior. I think he kind of scared himself a little bit. Boy. Ah, good boy. Boy. after I lunge him and he gets better, I'm like, okay, let's try this again. So we come back over to the same door and he's still not having it. And I'm kind of thinking in my head, I'm like, maybe he can just stay in the outdoor tonight and we'll try it again tomorrow. And then I started thinking, I was like, we have 2 other ways to get him in the barn. We have a side door that's not very big, so I was like, he's probably not gonna wanna walk in that. If he doesn't wanna walk in like one of the biggest doors to get in the barn, then he's not gonna wanna walk in a smaller door with a bunch of stuff sitting by it. But then I'm like, maybe he'll walk in the indoor. Like, he walked in the outdoor, no problem. Maybe, just maybe, he'll walk in the indoor. So I walk him over to the door over there, open the gate, and I'm thinking, like, this is it. Like, I just outsmarted this pony. Like, he's gonna wanna walk in here. It's nice and big. There's nothing scary to look at. No. Absolutely not. He doesn't wanna walk in the indoor either. Okay, so we spend probably another 45 minutes to an hour messing with him, lunging him, just keeping him moving. I was like, if you're not walking forward, then you're still moving, buddy. You're not just gonna stand there and not move. You're gonna work. If you're gonna be a jerk, you're gonna work. I want to add that at this point, like, he's not even acting like he's scared. He's just like flat out like just not moving because he doesn't want to. I did it how I would do any other horse, any of my horses that, when they had moments like that, this is what they did. Like, if they weren't going to do what I wanted them to do, then they were gonna do something else. They weren't just gonna stand there and not move and, not have to work. Like, they were going to do something until they decided that they wanted to pay enough attention to me to do what I wanted them to do. Okay, so that was my thought process throughout, these few hours trying to get this pony into the barn. Eventually, I'm just kind of like over it. Like, I was dripping in sweat. I was thirsty. I was tired. It's getting dark. My horses still haven't been fed. And so I'm like, you gotta get in here one way or another. So I back him into the indoor. Now, it took a little bit to actually get him to back into it, but I did it. Finally got him in, and I was like, he's at least kind of in the barn. Like, he's in an enclosed area. I'm not gonna try and get him into a stall tonight. Like, he's not gonna want to walk into it. And I was like, this is enough of a win for the day. So I got him in the indoor, get all the gates shut, get him some water, and then I go cool off for a few minutes. And I come back, feed my horses, do all that, and then I obviously get him taken care of too. I started him on some beet pulp and some grain, and then while I was taking that food out to him, I wanted to try and get him his dewormer. I was kind of messing with him earlier, just like with his mouth, to see how he was, like if he's gonna like freak out if I touched his mouth or anything, and he was really good with it. So I felt like I could get him dewormer. So when I took him his dinner, I got his dewormer, and I was pretty happy. It only took 7.5 minutes to catch him and get him the dewormer. I'm pretty sure he has worms. He looks it. So hopefully once all of that gets out of his system, he'll really start putting on weight and look a lot better than what he does. But yeah, that's kind of where we're at with this pony. Today I'm just gonna try and groom him a little bit. I don't know if he's gonna be a big fan of brushes. I don't even know if he's ever seen a brush before. But we're gonna find out. I'm just gonna try and spend as much time as I can with him, and always have cookies with me and something. So he realizes that I'm not a bad guy. Like, I just want to be his friend. But yeah, that's kind of where we're at with things. It's, you know, I've definitely got some work to do. So for, you know, the next few weeks, he's just gonna be taking it kind of easy, just getting weight on him. That's the biggest thing. Like, obviously he has a ton of work to do before I would even think about putting a saddle on him. And you know, definitely he's gonna have to put some weight on. I'm not starting a horse under saddle that is in his condition. So that's what his next few weeks are gonna be. So it's just gonna be like a lot of handling.